And we got the audio recording. Cuzzo.
1 2 1 2.
This is a place. We're gonna bring back the Modelo. And it's been a track. You are here.
Are we on?
We are on.
Man, what's up, world?
We are on. We are on. The thing about it is that now, you've come all the way to the hot place. All right. This is the further south. Right?
Yes, further south.
Right.
Now it feels good to be back. For the people who don't know, like ever since as a kid, every year at spring break or in the summer, my whole family, my sister, my brother, my parents, we would all come down here.
Right.
And even like when I was younger, I think those days you were up in Brooklyn.
Yep.
But then as time elapsed and then you moved even further down south.
Yep.
And then you moved back to Central Florida.
Yes.
And then I guess in the last 5 years or so, we've been coming down like every year at spring break.
Right.
And we back at it.
That's what I'm talking about. The thing for me now is there's always a thing for me. I realize that now. I'm just like, the thing for me is, right? But in all actuality, it is an honor to be here. And the ability to create some of the things that we've created so far. And what people may not know is that this actually started here.
Yeah.
The first idea.
About a year ago, I was down here. And then you came through. I was like, yo, cuzzo, I'm in town. Come through. Varski came through. And we were just chilling. It was kind of like just family stuff. But then I was like, Var, man, we've been doing too much stuff over the years. We got to do something. And at the time, I didn't know what we were going to do. I didn't know how we're going to do it. I didn't even know what it would entail. But we knew we were going to start a project.
Right.
And we're going to make something happen. And this is 1 year later. And there you go. You got Power Up.
I guess you could say this is the anniversary of the birth of Power Up.
Yes, this is the 1 year anniversary of Power Up.
You guys go ahead and send us some donations. We're going to buy cakes and stuff like that. We got beer already.
Just like, subscribe, repost.
That's it. Keep going. Keep going. If you keep doing that, we'll do this again next year.
100.
Right? You know what? Eventually, we'll get to the point where we invite all of you and we'll make it a big celebration.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and
Power Up 100.
And it comes springtime, it's a good place to be no matter where you're at. Because if you're in New York, everybody wants to be in Florida.
That's it.
If you're in Canada, everybody wants to be in Florida. Regardless of the political climate, we're putting that aside. We're just having a good time. We're relaxing. We're having our drinks. We're having, family time, just spending time catching up, and we're building.
That's it. Did I lose the camera?
Did we?
No. That's the computer.
We good.
Yeah, we're good. The thing that I come across now is that I have been watching a young man by the name of Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah, I heard of him.
Diary of the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal guy.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've seen from a distance.
Yeah, and he puts together some crazy interviews. Highly intellectual. His guests are highly decorated.
I'll be real with you. I don't think he sleeps. I think every day he does an interview. Like every hour there's an interview going on, and he just because the amount of interviews I see get pumped out, I'm like.
He's from the UK,
He's
right?
From the UK.
Yeah.
He's from the UK. He spends a lot of time over here, but definitely from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about what he's done is that he has not only his team that create podcasts, like they create his podcast, but they have other podcasts too that they create.
That kind of spiral off of that.
His biggest thing is going to be the philanthropy part, and he took his base and took that into something a little bit more. So for people who have that special mindset of, I don't know what I want to do. You can do some of everything. Just start from one place first and let that
and
carry
then it grows.
you. Exactly. right? But then he came up with these cards, right? Diary of the CEO conversation cards, right? And I actually found out about these from one of my coworkers, right? His name is Jason, right? Jason Carey, right? Guy's been doing what I've been doing for 23 years.
Wow.
And the thing about it, he said, these are some things that you can have a phenomenal conversation about. And I figured, if anything, we should do an episode about using these cards today.
We'll crack that open.
Right, we could do that right here. Right, and what I'll do is I'll take half, and you take half. Boom. And then we can go through it. And I think if there's one, we should do it like blackjack or Uno.
Yeah,
Uno. Put it down.
And then just pick one off the
That's
top.
That's it. All right. Do we have to shuffle them first? I don't know. Just all right. There we go. And what we'll do, right? We'll pick one question, right? And then we'll answer that question, and that will be what the interview's based off of. That's what the podcast will be based off today.
I like it.
Right? And then there's a one part inside there, right? There's a one blank card inside there. And what we'll do is that we will write a question of our own, and we'll send it over to Steve and see if he actually adds it to his deck.
All right.
No pressure.
All right, let's get it going. Let's get it cracking.
All right, so let's do this. Boom, we're gonna mix these up right here. Boom, boom. Just take it, drop it over here. I'm not gonna special card cutting. Boom.
All right.
All right, I'll leave that to you.
I'll grab the card off the top.
Yep.
All right. All right, what does this say? This says, what was the most valuable lesson you've learned in the last year and why?
I'll tell you this. I've learned that everyone says what they want, but when it comes to them, not everybody knows how to respond. Right? For instance, I was in a place where I had to address a situation, right? And a lot of people around me were, I don't like the situation. I can't stand it. I said, okay. You don't like it. You don't like it. You don't like it. I'm going to address it. Right? Morning meeting came up. I addressed the situation. When I addressed the situation, no one said anything.
It got quiet.
It got quiet. You're looking around like, you're seeing this. Yeah, we're going to. No. There was nothing. Nothing. I then realized, okay, you know what? There's a time and a place for everything. And just because they say they don't like it, doesn't mean they want to change it. It just means they want to complain about it. And
make some noise.
Human beings, and that everyone that complains about something doesn't mean they want to change it. It just means they want to complain about it.
Man,
that's the biggest thing I've learned. Not everybody wants change.
They just want to complain about it.
They just want to complain.
Wow. From what I learned, complaining doesn't get you too far.
No. And what it does, it's there's been a study how it affects the brain, right? And what people like to do, they want to complain about things. They want everybody else to know that I feel this pain. But if you give them a solution to the problem, they're more angry that you gave them the solution. Instead exactly.
Getting to vent.
Exactly. Right. So that's why sometimes you need to watch your energy. Be careful who you're around.
Yeah.
Right. They always say, my mom always told me, right, and I hated it when she said it, but your family always said,
yeah,
watch the company you keep, because
5 people.
That's it.
5 people. The 5 people that you interact with the most, that's who you are.
That's who you are. Right? Birds of a feather flock together.
Man.
You don't want to believe it, but it actually is true.
But it's the truth.
Because if you got a crew full of hustlers, right, you gonna hustle.
You
right?
gonna hustle.
Because I can't let moms make more money than me. I mean, they say, we over here. It's
true.
This is what it is.
It's true.
Oh, you got the BM? Oh, I can't let him have the BM and not get the Rolls Royce. Oh, right. But all of a sudden, now here we are. You iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
Right.
So it's tricky. It's like you got your best friends, you got your acquaintances, you got the people who you mess with on a regular basis, and it feels sometimes impossible to like make a smaller circle.
Absolutely.
But in order to achieve and to grow, you got to make that circle smaller.
That's the hardest part. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
All right.
All right, I'm going to grab one now. What lesson have you learned from your lowest point, and is there anything about it that you're grateful for?
Man, what lesson have I learned from my lowest point? And is there anything grateful I learned about it? In the last year, right? Period. Man, so at my lowest point, I guess a lot of people out there in the world could relate, is when you don't have the financing to make something happen that you want to make happen.
Preach.
So in a case like that, that would be my lowest point. What did I do? I dug deep. I went within. I looked at my resources. I try to cut things that I didn't need. So I would look at all the things I have, and I'm like, do I need this? 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 And how I measured if it had value, do these things make me more money? Do these things make me more smarter? Do these things, and that's how I evaluated it.
Right.
So if I could cut some stuff off, I got rid of those things to raise that money, to get out of a financial bind. Then I said to myself, I'm not going to do this ever again. I'm not going to be in this situation ever again. So I actively made it on purpose not to be in this situation again. So what did I do to prevent that, or to make sure that never happens again? Cut back. Don't do the things that are unnecessary. So
consistently live below your means.
Yes. Yeah. Consistently live below your means. I'm not saying don't treat yourself, especially if you feel you work for it and you deserved it.
Right.
But if I could cut out things that I didn't need, I would cut them out.
Right.
So cooking more, I do that more. Not for me. I'm an independent dude, and I keep to myself for the most part. And I do have a small circle, but then I dug deeper. Invest more, even if it was just a few dollars. Invest into like a dividend stock, invest into a royalty stock, even if it was a few dollars every couple weeks or every, I just make sure this is not gonna ever happen again.
Right.
And I consistently still live like that to this day.
Right.
And everybody still wants more, regardless of whatever you achieve, because you want to invest into things that will bring you more, or you could achieve more goals. But just consistently cutting out things that are not going to help me, and that makes me always get through. And you know what? So doing that in the physical, I'm going to get deep on you, doing that in the physical, but in that time of desperation, in that time of defeat, where I'm like, damn, I got closer to God. A lot of people have different spiritual beliefs, but I got closer to God in that situation, meaning praying more, being more obedient, asking God to guide me on my steps, like, asking for protection from guiding angels. Like, I did everything because I didn't want to be in this situation ever again. So I did whatever I knew, which was cutting back, getting more deep, and just keeping my circle small, keeping to myself, and focusing on what really mattered. And it's still an ongoing journey, and I still continue to do that on a daily basis, even today. But that was a turning point.
Right. I like that, man. That's deep.
I had to, and a lot of people. I'm not pushing anything on anybody. This is my personal experience, but this is what worked for me.
Right.
And just having the faith believing in something, you know, and by all means, I'm not religious, but I believe in God.
Right.
I believe in the creator. I believe in the creator of this universe. And that's what's been helping me. And that's what's been upholding me.
Right.
Believe it or not.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that.
All right, let's go. All right. This one says, what is a personal legacy you want to leave for yourself and your children?
You believe it or not, and it's the hardest thing to actually fathom. For me, you want to be known as someone who took the willingness to make everything right. Right? If there was an opportunity to make somebody better, you took it.
Yeah.
If there's an opportunity to make yourself better, you took it.
Yeah.
You didn't get seen as the person who folded under the pressure. You took the pressure head on and you said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and become a diamond. Right? Everyone, for me, in my mindset, people want to slay the dragon. Everybody wants to slay the dragon until they realize how big the dragon is. Right? To me, I want to be known as a person who didn't care how big the dragon was. I just want to know what the sword was.
Yeah. I feel you.
And I don't even need the sword. We're just gonna figure this thing out together. Right? You know, if anything gets built from what I'm doing, from what I work with anybody with, you carry that on with you. You say, hey, you know what? He's gone, but the story that he left behind still remains. And he left an ethic that was unbelievable, right? Know what you want. Go get what you want. Don't let anyone ever stop you from what you want. All right? That's the legacy that I would love to leave behind.
That's beautiful, man. And it's tricky sometimes because it's like we all have goals and dreams, and there's all these different things that seem to set you back or hold you back. But to leave that as a legacy, that whatever you want, you go out there and do it, and you make it happen, I think is a beautiful thing.
It's a thing, man. Like for me, when it comes down to it, we grew up. Like I say, it's. For me, I think a lot of us were programmed for failure.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? No. To maintain.
Yeah,
I can't say
just
to maintain.
status quo.
Right. And very, very few people are programmed or break that programming of their own and say, let's go beyond that. Right? Let's say, you know what? Maybe I don't want to be the person. I think KRS-One said it. He said there's three people in this world. There's people who say, you know, there's three types of slaves. People who said, hey, slavery, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no such thing as slavery. This master treats me good. Right? There's another person who says, hey, I'm looking for this thing called an MAP. Do you know what that is?
The map.
Right. And there's another person who's saying, yo, let's roll. Right?
Yeah, let's go.
Right. That's what it is. No matter what's gonna take, no matter what the pain is, no matter who you run into, we gonna run.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep it moving.
We're gonna keep it moving, and we're not running because we're afraid of we're not running because we're afraid of what's happening. We're afraid of what's gonna happen if we don't run.
Yes.
Right. And that's the mentality.
And regardless of whatever happens, if you keep it moving, there's a brighter day ahead.
That's it. So that's for me. So hopefully.
It inspires one of the people watching out there.
Wow, what's your favorite sound?
Sound. My favorite sound. So hopefully y'all can relate out there. My favorite sound is a reggae bass line.
Yeesh.
Like classic reggae. Like
which one? The
like a 80s 90s classic, like do 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 do.
No.
Yeah, like the heavy
Yes.
classic 80s 90s reggae bass line, like do doom doom do doom doom
That's
Doom,
wild.
doom, boom, doom, boom.
Yeah.
That bass, I would think that's my favorite sound because it's just like I feel it touches my soul, like
Right.
it, like ancestry wise, like that's my culture,
Of
that's
course you
my
feel the
tradition.
heaviness,
That's
man.
and just growing up, how that bass moved everybody around me,
Right.
from my mother to my father to my siblings to my friends to the people in the culture and industry, music business, just a heavy reggae bass line, like
Right.
I love it.
That's fire. That's fire.
I
Are we wait, so what are we doing? Are both of us answering questions or just we go back and forth? Because we could do that.
let's go back and forth. I
Yeah,
like this.
I like it.
I
I
like
like it,
this.
yeah.
Yo, shout out to Diary of the CEO.
Diary of the CEO.
We're
These-
using your card deck today.
That's it.
This is a spring break special,
You know.
and we're using your card deck. So chime in, show some love. That's what we're doing today. All right. What has been the most happiest moment of your life? Brought you the most joy, and why? Happiest moment of your life brought you the most joy, and why?
You know what? I think one of the biggest things, most people would say it's when the kids are born.
Yeah,
That's
a classic.
That's a classic. That's the go-to for everyone. Mm-hmm. All right. But I'll do one even better. All right. My daughter was sitting there one day, and she sat there playing with a desk. Right. And as she was playing with the desk, she messed around and she locked the desk with a pair of tweezers because she was watching it being done on the movie. Right. And I looked at the desk and I'm looking like,
It's locked.
it's locked. There's things in this desk. I looked at her with a face of anger. I said, open it.
Yeah.
Right. And then she went over there and I heard her in the background. Then she said, boom, I got it.
That's beautiful.
I was like, oh, wow. So like I said, you could go with the day she was born.
Yeah, which is like
That's the
that's the go-to.
You know.
Everybody would say that. If
Right.
you're a parent out there, the day that you had a child
Right.
is the best moment of your life.
But
100.
Watching her overcome that obstacle, all right, and the joy she shared in overcoming it.
Yes.
To me, that was like, I could sit here every single day and watch her overcome any obstacle, and she carried that joy for everything that she actually did.
No, I like that one because
Right,
it's like in life we all had stumbling blocks, and in life we all had a situation where there was nobody to help you and you had to figure something out. You might have asked person A, person B, person C, but they couldn't help. And you had to dig deep and figure it out.
Yes.
And you dug deep and you did what it took. It might have took you an hour or two or a day or a week or whatever the situation is. You figured it out.
Yep.
And that feeling of overcoming that setback,
That's what created who you are.
yeah, I like
That's the
that
biggest
one.
thing. That's the biggest thing for me, man. Yo, why you acting strange?
Like,
Comment,
subscribe.
repost.
You know what it is.
Varski Monze Power.
Ooh. What is your deepest fear?
My deepest fear. I'm gonna get spiritual on you again. My deepest fear, and I'm sure it sounds cliche and you heard it before. Like I don't fear man, I fear God,
Right.
because I've seen the unseeable. I've seen the like where it was impossible and there was no chance and it went against the odds and there was no way out and nothing physically, mentally possible could get you out of this situation, but synchronicities lined up.
Right.
Only you knew. No, you couldn't even tell somebody.
Right.
Like you seen some numbers over there. You seen the door open over there. You seen the transaction got approved when you knew the money wasn't there.
Right.
You got the phone call when you knew they already had everybody they needed and you missed the cut, but you still got the phone call.
Right.
You didn't know where to turn, and all of a sudden somebody sent you a text message or an email, or you got this phone call, and it made everything all right.
Right.
So my deepest fear is God.
Wow.
And I'm not pushing nothing on nobody, but in my life, in my experience, when everything in the physical didn't work out, I went within, I said a prayer, I asked for guidance or some breakthrough or some kind of blessing, and it happened.
Right.
So I only could fear God, what I can't see.
Right. I like that. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. My turn? Oh, that's your turn.
Is my
Yeah,
all right,
that's
I. Let me take a wets to this. All right.
Grown up juice.
What is
Inadequate?
inadequacy? What is an inadequacy you admit to that you could work on starting tomorrow?
Consistency.
No, inadequacy. Inadequacy.
No, that's what I can work on. Consistency.
Consistency. Yeah. So
That's it. That's it.
What is an inadequacy you could admit to that you could work on starting tomorrow?
I need to be, I don't mind being more consistent, right? Getting up on time, right? Not 10 minutes before it's time for me to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, getting up maybe an hour, two or 3 hours before it's time to leave, heading to the gym, working out, being able to create that routine, right? A lot of times I feel like I'm in a place where I don't have that routine.
Well, what do you okay? So consistency is something that you could work on,
Right.
that you could start tomorrow.
Right.
How can you be triumphant in that, like, and have that consistency? How can you start with that tonight?
That's the biggest part. That's the part where you look at him like, all right. The first thing that I think, we don't talk about it. You just put it together. All right, what are you going to do? I'm gonna head up out of this piece. All right, I'm gonna shut everything down. I'm gonna go to sleep. Wake up. All right, and you're gonna fight the rebellion. Got to fight the rebellion because there's a rebellion inside your body that tells you, I don't want to go to bed right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go to bed right now. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to go. I can do one more job. I can edit one more thing. I can put everything together. In all fairness, why?
Nah.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Right? I think a lot of times, a lot of the things you do are external.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that you do are created by something else.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be able to understand what that is, that just because somebody else feels it's important, doesn't mean it's important for you.
Yeah. Everybody's an individual.
That's it.
And what's good for you might not be good for them, and what's good for them might not be good for you.
What's good for the goose is not always good for the gander.
100.
Right, that's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
So being consistent and following the routine religiously for a long time. That's getting back to doing that.
Well, I think the fact that you're saying it,
Right.
and I'm starting to see the value in these cards.
Right.
Shout out to Diary of Your CEO. I'm starting to see the consistency and the value of
Right.
it, because the fact that you admit this is what I know I need to do,
Right.
you've identified
Of course, man.
what has to happen
Of course.
for you to go to the next level.
That's the biggest thing. And being able to identify, like I said, sometimes when they say, what's the word? They say acceptance is the first stage.
Yes.
The first stage is denial. Second stage is acceptance.
Yeah, denial,
Right.
then acceptance.
Right. So first thing I'm trying to do is accept. Okay, it's accepted. I know that I could be better at this.
We all can. It doesn't matter what you achieve
It's just
in your
about-
existence.
that's
You
it.
could always be better. And then, like, there's been so many great people. Think about if Pac and Biggie was still around. Think about of what they could have achieved. Like, you could always do better.
Yeah.
I'm just putting out a couple names that we all know. Like, man, say they never died at 27.
Right.
What
wild.
are 25?
Right.
What could they have achieved?
Right. That's the. Oof. Oh, hold on. What's the hardest thing you've ever done in your life?
Hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I think sacrificing for others. Sacrifice is probably the hardest thing that comes to mind that I've done in my life, because it's like, traditionally when you're sacrificing so somebody else gets the opportunity,
Right.
not yourself.
Right.
You
sacrifice.
Yeah, you want to do this for yourself, but you have a responsibility, whether it's a spouse, a partner, a child, a sibling, somebody you're responsible for, an older parent, somebody you're responsible for,
Right.
even a good friend. You promised and you said you're going to do that, but by doing this, you have to take away from yourself to make sure this person gets that opportunity or that advantage. So, it's not a one-time thing. I've done it many time over and over again. And I think sacrifice is probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Right.
But it felt damn good.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. I've realized that, especially when it comes to being able to do something for other people at your own cost. You're more willing to do that than anything else in the world.
Yeah.
People will give everything they have. And some people do it for the pain. Again, like I said, I've always believed that the human existence is justified by how much pain they can endure. All right. Some people will just do it to be like, you know how much I gave for you? But some people who genuinely do it, like, no, I believe you need to have this opportunity.
Yes.
Right.
100.
I believe you need to have this opportunity, and I'll take the back seat for now.
That's a beautiful thing. When because I've been in that situation, so I understand that position.
Right.
And it's like, you might have had that experience, but this person hasn't had that chance.
Right.
And if they just had that chance, it might lead to an open door.
Right.
Or even to an enlightenment where they could do something for themselves.
I agree.
So I definitely identify with that.
I agree with that completely. It's on you.
All right, let's do it. Should this one more, two more?
One more. We can do two more.
Two more. All right. Tell me something you've never told anyone before. This is crazy.
I don't know because I told everybody everything.
Varski's an open book.
Yeah, no, I told everybody everything. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna give these a shuffle.
I would love to answer that question, but this is why we have therapists.
I'm not a good shuffler. Well, your man Varski's an open book.
Yeah, I don't know anything that I haven't told anybody. There you go. I've never told anybody. This is sweet tea.
That's that movie magic.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we do. What did you learn from your greatest failure? Did we ask that question already?
Did we?
No, we had a similar question.
We had something similar, but what did I learn from my biggest failure? If I think about it, my biggest failure was trusting in others. At this point in life, I could honestly say that my biggest failure was trusting in others, because there's nothing out there in this world, in this life, in this existence. If you really want it, if you want to achieve it, you could research it as an individual, and don't get it twisted. Like for big achievements, you need a team.
Right.
You need a team, and you need a solid team. It's almost like Voltron. Like in Voltron, every part of Voltron was a strong member.
Right.
So you need everybody equally strong.
Right.
So you need a team of everybody has individuality and a separate power. That's what made Voltron powerful.
That's true. That's true.
But if you're part of a team where this person's a bloodsucker, this person's a conniver, this person's a swindler,
Yep.
this person's a thief,
And this person has more of an ego than everybody else. Yeah.
but you're honest and you're willing to sacrifice and do all these things, you're not part of a good team.
No.
So if you're part of like a true Voltron, I'm not talking about in that sense. But I believe my biggest failure was being part of teams that not everybody had their heart in it as I did.
Man.
And
That's,
and part B to that answer, so anybody don't get it mixed up, is I had to go through that failure so I could learn, and then by me going through that failure, I identified what is a good team and what is a good individual and what are good attributes of a person that I could join that team, and now I'm part of a true Voltron,
Right.
and now we're powerful.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I do remember. I remember saying to somebody one day, I think it was during therapy, folks, black folks, therapy is okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. But I remember during therapy, I told my therapist what I had a tendency to do is to believe in people even if I knew they weren't going to make it.
Yeah.
Right. And
I
would
feel
put-
you with that
I'd
one.
put my eggs in that bag just so I know when they fail, I could blame them for not making it.
The scapegoat.
And I knew it. I knew. I was like, "You're not gonna." No, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna. And I knew they would do it because I knew they would sabotage themselves.
Because of the type of person they
Because of the
were.
person they are.
And you've been knowing them.
Right.
So don't get it twisted. It's part of life. You have to go through the rigmarole.
Right.
You have to go through the ups and downs. Or how would you learn? Or how would you be able to identify
Right.
this is a good person, this is not a good person? So you have to go through the craziness.
Right.
And then after you've been up, you've been down, now you understand, I like this person.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm still going to be wary, but I like this person. And then that person, because they're a good person, they introduce you to another good person. Now you got that strong
You're a
team.
strong team. That's it.
Because don't get it twisted. You got to be a powerful individual that's part of a strong team.
That's it.
Everybody putting in work. Everybody willing to go hard. Everybody, that's willing to, stay up late, put in that extra mile, doing the, anybody who's achieved, they know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because you're part of a successful group. You that person might have that kind of attitude or whatever, but they strong.
They're strong. And you got to, that's the biggest, ooh, you said that, you hit the bars on the head right there. Playing sports.
Yes.
You knew if there was somebody on your team if everybody on your team was strong,
Mm-hmm.
you knew where you were trying to go.
Yes.
Right.
You get a championship.
Didn't matter how tired you were. If we're gonna go in here, we're gonna bust out behind. Look, man, we're gonna be tired. We're gonna be tired. We're gonna do this. I think even Jay-Z said it one time in a song. If every person in your clique is rich, your clique is rugged.
100.
Right? No one will fall because everyone will be each other's crutches.
That's reasonable doubt, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the biggest part about it. People don't understand those bars. They want to look at other things, but these were our philosophers growing up. Like they told us,
Yes.
these bars.
Yes.
You know what? Don't worry about it. It's like this is the real crew. You know, we got misguided along the way. We thought because we were friends that we were crew.
Yes, but you can't bring your friends along all the time.
And it's different when your clique is different. It's like when
Cheers to
everybody
that.
bow. You know, when it's different when your team, when you have a team and you have your friends.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, that's separate.
Every now and then you can bring your friends. You have a friend that will match you.
Yes.
Right, but your team is completely different.
It's two separate groups. Like my homie is my homie, but
Right.
my team is my
Our
team.
Right, this is why. Here we go. You ready for this one? You look at LeBron. Right, LeBron's team is his team. Like this is literally his team from middle school
Yes.
and high school,
Which is very rare.
Very rare. Your team that follows you, like they become your best friends, and now they're like, "Yo, we're all gonna build this empire together." Right now, you see Rich is new, right? But you got Maverick and all the other boys. They all sitting there running the shop and management companies and this. That's a team.
That's a team.
Right, that's a clique. That's your guys.
That's what you need. Like, you know, like a lot of people, I put this out there. Like a lot of people say LeBron the GOAT, LeBron the king.
Right.
And he is arguably the best basketball player out there.
Right.
But you know what people need to look at is LeBron's team. I'm not talking about the Lakers.
No.
I'm not talking about the Cavaliers. I'm not talking about Miami Heat. I'm talking about LeBron's team.
His team is different.
If you guys want to study great people, study LeBron's team.
Right. Because if you think about it, it's one thing to still be playing for 23 years. It's another thing to be this relevant 23 years later.
That's like an anomaly.
That's crazy. Right. You go.
Yeah. All right, let's see what's cracking. All right. Is there a time in your childhood when you could look back and think, this is the reason why I'm sitting here and why?
Yeah. See, I don't know if you probably experienced it, right? Because, like I said, we come from a West Indian culture. I can't even call it the West Indies because we're not really the West Indies because that was given by Columbus.
Yeah,
right?
colonialism.
by the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Caribbean culture.
Yeah.
Where, because it's not what's the standard, it wasn't right. Right, you know, like, oh, you're not gonna succeed at that. You need to go and work. I thought you'd become a doctor or a computer programmer or something like that.
Yeah,
but that's not my path. Right, that's not my path. I'm not gonna go down that road. I want to build things that I like.
Yeah,
right. And you look at it, and it's just like you realize how much has been taken away from you trying to become something else
that you weren't cut out to be.
That you're not. And I'll be real with you. I still remember. I remember chasing after a girl, right? Because she was in church, right? And I'm like, well, you can't date her unless you're saved.
Yeah.
What is it saved? What do you have to do to become saved?
Either you with it or you're not, ma.
do you? Where is the saved? Do they sell the saved at Walmart? Can I go get some saved from there? Is this nice? Wow, you know. But you realize that sometimes you put yourself in these situations where it's like, I think you're so focused on not being good enough, because that's what that creates for you.
Yeah.
It creates you a mentality of you're not good enough. I'm not good enough to be this. I'm not. So you start chasing things that you know you're not good enough for. Right. Technically.
Right.
Because you're good for everything.
Yeah, of course.
Right. But you chase the things that you feel like they're gonna reject me anyway. So let's go ahead and do it. You know.
See what I can make out of this.
But now it's like, why am I chasing this? It's like this. I'm not even enamored by this. Right? Right? This is not, like I don't even want this anymore. I'm okay.
It was a challenge.
It was a challenge with this, but now the challenge is not even worth the challenge. It's like, why am I here? Like, let me go do something else now. So as you get older, you snap out of that. Some people snap out of it.
Some.
It takes a lot of conscious awareness.
Yes,
that's the biggest thing.
Conscious awareness,
right? Being available where you are.
Conscious awareness,
right? That's the biggest thing, right? It's understanding. Can we curse here? We can curse here, right?
It's your world.
Yeah, I'm a fuck up.
Well, who doesn't?
I'm a fuck up. And that's the biggest thing. And we all fuck up. But that doesn't make me who I am. And I'm going to mess up time and time again. But it's just about understanding who you are and understanding you have the ability to keep growing.
Yes. It's a never-ending story.
That's it.
One of my favorite movies.
Oh, man. Atreyu.
And that's way back.
But by the way, did you see the AI version where they rewrote everything?
No, I've only seen the original. Like I remember being like a young kid and watching the never-ending story, like a flying dog.
Dude, they made one,
and the soundtrack was dope.
They remade a lot of the movies and created the endings. Like the horse got stuck in the mud.
Oh, like they changed the ending.
Changed it to the horse got out of the mud. Oh, right. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh wow. I don't know if that either creates a whole new timeline or like,
switch it.
Oh man, but that's what it is. What you want to call it on that one?
Yeah, let's call it on that. But on that note, the never-ending story. So your story never dies.
No.
And even if you fail, you crash, you burn, as long as you're alive, an old man once told me, as long as I'm alive, I got another day to make it happen.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So it's the never-ending story.
It's another crack at bat. I love it. Thank you. You made it this far. I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's a blessing. Do remember, like, subscribe, repost. We appreciate the support.
We're not trying to give you a bunch of different commands. We just
we just being real with it.
Look, we'll be 100% honest with you. Like this is where we do the camera cut because we're film guys. So the thing about it is that you guys are on this journey with us, and in order for us to grow, you have to grow with us.
Yeah.
So please, like, comment, subscribe. All the things. You know what it is. We've been doing this. You've been on the social media thing for almost 20 years. We started it together. Right? Join us. Help keep us going so we can help keep you going.
That's what I'm saying.
Bars.
That's what's up, y'all.
Booyakasha. And we out. That was good.
Yeah, it's dope. The cars are crazy.
The cars are wild,
the
man.
cars are because it's like there's no holds barred.
No, man.
It's just like